Hello.
Oh my goodness, I'm on the stream. Hello, people.
Great to have you here.
Thanks, Destiny. I'm loving your energy. I'm loving your hair. You know why?
Thank you.
Delta is like purple, and there's like purple kind of aesthetic overall to the game and just the promotion for it. So we're in the vibe right now.
That's why I did it. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
I just Well, it's great to have you here. We kind of want to jump right into it because I want to know more about you. I'm sure our guests want to know more about you, how you got started, like what got you inspired. Tell us all about it.
Oh man, I got started in games. So I've been making games for about 5 years now. For full disclosure, I'm like an old man. I'm like 35. I got 2 kids, and I've got enough.
Stop your mouth. No.
I'm just saying, because I don't post people like, oh, he's making games for 5 years. What is he, like 24? Like, nah, homie. I pay a lot in taxes every year. I'm an adult man. But yeah, I got my start because at work one day, like a friend of mine had just mentioned that I saw him kind of designing what looked like a game, and I was like, how are you doing that? And he was like, oh, it's this thing called game engines that you can just use. And I was like, what? You mean you don't have to work at Square or like Ubisoft or EA to make video games? Mm-hmm. And so I kind of learned from that about like Unreal Engine and Unity. And I've always kind of desired to see like a really good like Sonic the Hedgehog game in like 3D. Like I felt like after the couple of Sonic Adventure games, the 3D transition wasn't all that smooth, you know what I'm saying, for like a long time. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, with Unreal, it's got like a lot of tools that can take someone like me who doesn't necessarily know how to program like in C++ and many languages and can design using the blueprint system. And I kind of got my start doing that, just like making fan games for different like IP that I loved as a kid and kind of wished made that jump to 3D really well. So I made like a Sonic fan game called Sonic Explorers, which plays actually pretty similar to like Sonic Frontiers based on like the revealed trailers. But that's a fan game made like 3 or 4 years ago. And then from there I made like a Mega Man X fan game, which ultimately became Protodroid DeLTA, which I'm working on now. A Mega Man Legends fan game, and then last like an Ape Escape game called Tough Stuff. It's very silly.
Oh, that's cute.
They have these stuffed animals who become magically imbued and become alive and they become aggressive. And so they're like tough stuffed animals.
I like that though. That's super cute.
Yeah, so that's what I did. And so that's kind of what got my start. That's how I got my start in making games, fan games, Unreal Engine blueprints, and just hoping, just this desire or thought that I could make something that I hadn't yet seen made, and I was hoping that the developers could make at some point. Yeah.
No, I think that's incredible. And like the fact that you saw someone doing it and you were like, I'm just gonna jump on here and make games myself. Like I've always found that overwhelming, but like props to you because you've made like several games and I love all of the inspiration. I mean like we all got to be a little bit relevant.
It's like normal people don't do this. Like normal people don't be like, oh, it's 2 a.m. time to keep making this project. It's like normal people are on Netflix at 2 a.m. Normal people are sleeping at 2 a.m. And so yeah, you got to be a little bit of a nut, but it's a good nut. It's like a macadamia nut.
I have to macadamia nut. I had to jump in real quick.
I was about to introduce you. I'm sorry, Justin.
It's all good. Adam came in hot. Thank you guys for being so patient. It is amazing to have you. I know you have an announcement to make, and I think you should make that announcement on air.
Oh man, you're a good guy, Justin. So the long story short is I recently signed a publishing deal with Humble Games. Protodroid DeLTA will be published by Humble Games. I had to keep quiet about that for a few days. It was really hard. I was avoiding Discord, avoiding like socials, so I didn't like slip up and pull a Tom Holland and like kind of spill the beans. But yeah,
Tom Holland.
I've worked on the game for like 2.5 years now, and just started with a Kickstarter, and then after Humble really took the strong initiative to start the BGDF, the Black Game Developer Fund, being one of the first recipients of that was like just talking about to the moon. I was just like thrilled just with that. But they continue to believe in the project and continue to support me, and I can't understate like the support Justin's been giving me all along the way. Like it's a lot of things happen. It's like, you know that phrase is like, if I see far, it's because I stand on the shoulders of giants. Well, I definitely am standing on like Justin's giant shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Himself, Tony Barnes, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like Sean Alexander, like all the guys like on this like Discord we've got. And they've been just propping me up and supporting. And so it's like, it's just been like a lot of sort of like very fortuitous things, you know, meeting John Polson, you know, he used to be with the organization, how he supported and believed in it. And yeah, it was cool to see like what started as a fan project that I just really wanted to scratch a creative itch as his getting into following, gain some professional support. And now Humble Games is publishing it. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like a fairy tale, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's a fairy tale. I'm very happy this morning. I'm like very happy.
God, you're always happy, man.
Yeah,
you're always happy.
So I'm always happy, but like I'm like more happy today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always happy, but like now I'm like,
as
here.
you should be.
Welcome back, Derek.
Welcome. Yeah, I'm back from the ether. To say, you know, let's kick this game up. You know, I would be really interested to demonstrate some of Protodroid DeLTA on the stream if we're ready to jump into some of that.
Ooh, yeah, I'd love to see that.
Awesome. Before we go though, I want to talk a little bit about like the Black Game Developer Fund, if we can, because I think it was very instrumental. You were instrumental in the Black Game Developer Fund, and I know that Destiny was about to introduce me as, you know, one of the advisors on it. But yeah, it's been a crazy journey, like just working with Humble to start like the pipeline for that. You know, they have been very helpful and resourceful, you know, in the community, in the culture, like supporting Black developers in general, and then Black developers with this fund, and then really allowing folks to contribute to how everything would come together. And Adam was one of the first people that I reached out to, or you know, for participation in this fund, and he's been amazing to work with and has been collaborative, communicative, and congrats on, you know, getting your game published, because you worked really hard at it, and you've been a like a pillar of light in the community.
Oh man, this is such
that was really sweet.
What a warm show. Man, I appreciate you, Justin. Yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. This is cool, man. Oh man, you know what? Oh man, I don't know what to say. Destiny, I feel like we're friends. Derek, you were in the ether, so we haven't quite connected, but soon you and I will have a bond, like the bond of me and Justin, and it will be, yeah, it's like two hands.
Me and my giant shoulders. Anyway, that being said, I'm gonna back out. I want you guys to really like jump in, talk about the game, and play. I'll see you guys in a bit.
See ya.
Bye. Thanks for stopping by, Justin, and thanks for bringing up Humble Bundle and like all of those amazing things. And that's incredible. Like, kudos to you. Like, Adam, that's amazing. So I know it's probably like a dream come true, but one of the questions I want to ask, and one of the things that piqued my interest the most, was the fact that you have a female protagonist.
Oh yeah, that was really important for me.
Tell us about that.
So like one of the big motivations for Protodroid DeLTA was like creating a game with characters of people who don't normally see themselves in gaming, right? And so it's like, I was like, as I was designing the characters and stuff and trying to figure things out, like I realized, like, you know, it's, if you look at like certain games that have rosters like over like 70 characters, something like that, and only like 3 or 4 are like people of color, for example, right? And it's like, that's kind of weird.
Right.
There's usually more animal mascots than there are like people who have brown or black skin, right? And it's like, that's kind of silly. And then if you look at like, and I decided when making like a Mega Man inspired game, if you look at the vast history of like Mega Man games, it's like over 35 or 32 titles. And throughout, like, on hundreds of characters, and I think there's like 3 female characters. You know, it's like a very small subset, and it's like, this kind of sucks. You know, that like you have like so many characters, so many opportunities to show different types of perspectives, different like personalities, and it's just like you just dropping the ball. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was really important to create characters for folks who don't normally see themselves in gaming, and to put them front and center. You know, like one of the key aspects of the game is that the cast skews predominantly female. It's like 6-5 or 6-4, if I remember correctly. Where like a lot of the key protagonists are female. So it's like DeLTA is female robot, and then her creator is female. Her best friend Android, and I wanted to create a story where the central tension is usually not amongst a bunch of cliches, right? Where it's like oftentimes if you have female characters, the central story theme is around some male or like some love interest or some sort of like their value kind of attached to how desirable they are to a guy. And I was like, no, it'd be cool if like it's just a couple of women who are beefing with each other, you know what I'm saying? Or people who have different perspectives on how to solve a problem, and how they sort of like resolve that, you know? And so yeah, it was really important for me to create, again, this is that line, like create a game with characters for people who don't often see themselves in gaming. And that goes like a lot of ways. Like for example, Dr. Shelton, she wears a headscarf because like, you know, I'm Muslim. I grew up around like Muslim women my entire life. And like, and that's kind of how they look. You know, that's like my mom right there. That's my aunt. And you know, I grew up around like Latino folks, and you know, we're not often seen as in like the lead roles in games. You look at like maybe Final Fantasies, or often games coming from like overseas and stuff, and to most will be as like a side character or like maybe 2 side characters. You know what I'm saying? And that's
like
been
Barrett
recently,
from Final Fantasy.
Like Barrett. It's like Barrett represents all of the people.
all the black people, yeah.
That's why he's so buff. That's why he's so big. He's holding all the.
That's
black
true.
people.
That's
exactly.
true.
So like all of so yeah, I just wanted to get away from that, you know, and create an opportunity for folks. So the cast has got like 4 or 5 black characters. It's got 3 Latino characters. It's got an Asian female character, a white male character, and just like a good mix of stuff, you know. And so yeah, that was really important to me. Oh, Derek, so you
I'm
got
glad
a
you
whole
did that.
dash and then jump.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, he got it.
Don't touch me.
It's okay.
It's okay. We're gonna get it on the next one.
I'm so glad that you brought that up. Because I'm sorry. I was listening to you play the game, and then I was like, don't backseat game Destiny, just let him do it. He can do it. But what I was gonna say is I'm so glad that you brought that up and that you are so inclusive with diversity. So really quick question, slightly personal, but I know you said you have kids. Do you have girls?
I have a daughter, and it's really cool. Here's what happens. I have a daughter and a son, and I've been doing some character designs, working with like my artist Blaze Malefica on Twitter. She's been doing like the comic work. And my character illustrator Def Jews, at Def Jews on Twitter and ArtStation. And we did some like different designs for DeLTA and different hairstyles. And then my daughter walks up to the monitor, and she's like, "Dad, me," and she's like, "Me, like that's me." And that's what I'm trying to achieve with this, is for people who don't see themselves, you know, front and center as like the main driver, to see that and be like, "That's me." And I almost teared up because it's like this is it. Like if the game just dies tomorrow, like this is it. You know what I'm saying? I've achieved really something amazing, that my daughter saw herself in a video game character. You know what I'm saying? That I'm committing so much of my time to, that millions of people hopefully will see at some point. And she just saw it and said, "That's me." So yeah, I got a daughter.
No, that's incredible. I love that. Because growing up, I realized that my favorite characters were like characters that look kind of like me, but weren't really like me, because we just didn't have that. We didn't have that at all. So I was like, oh, my favorite character is Jasmine. And then like the next Darkest Princess that came out was Pocahontas. So that was my favorite character. You know what I mean? Until we got to Tiana. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, another question I wanted to ask, and then I'm going to throw it to Derek, is I love, you kind of talked about it, and I'm assuming that some of the cultures that inspired the look of the area comes from the people that you've grown up around and being Muslim, because you can definitely tell there's like a very special aesthetic to the environment. Oh yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Excellent.
Yeah, so like I stumbled upon this thing called solarpunk, and I just ran with that. So like as I'm designing the game, I'm thinking to myself, it's got to be unique, right? It can't just be generic sci-fi kind of future setting. And so I'm going on Pinterest, and I suddenly see like what looks literally a concept art that literally designed this stage. It's a piece by Stephen Wong on ArtStation, and it's called like the Great Solar Bridge, right? or the solarpunk bridge he called it. And then I found about like this art competition that Adam Hawk did called Solarpunk Art Challenge, where it's like literally the opposite of like cyberpunk stuff. It's like a future in which like technology and people have grown together in harmony, and like you see like this wonderful blend of like natural elements and tech, all bolstered by like renewable energy and like a hopeful, more pleasant kind of future. So that just resonated with me, and I was like, there's so many games where it's like the setting is always like it's a dystopia. The world sucks. Everyone's in debt. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of humanity's dead except you and your cousin. You know, it's like, man, that's sad. Like, is that the only vision of the future that we have? Like, there's no other like interpretation of the future might be. And so that kind of drove things. On top of that, like, I've always kind of like thought it was cool when characters were just like it is like who can use like long flowing clothing as like a tapestry, like a way of expressing themselves. And I find very often in games, particularly unfortunately, like female characters, they go the opposite direction. It's like you'll have a guy who's got like armor, like even his eyebrows are armored, and then you got a female character who's like literally her chest is out and stuff, and it's like
out for everybody to see.
It's like
fanfare.
You're gonna fight a war like that? Like you go on a battle like that? I don't think you have your priorities in order, unless maybe she's like thinking next level. Like if I can get these dudes to think I'm so hot that they stumble in their tracks and they get distracted. It's like, what? Doesn't make any sense. So anyways,
I don't think that battle tactic works in the field.
I don't think it's like So I wanted to design characters with that in mind. That like, you know, how can you design characters who like where like their clothing is like a form of their expression, like a part of who they are, and really pays a nod to sort of like old world kind of like traditions and cultures and stuff. And so yeah, a lot of the characters, that was a big point, like they all wear like long, flowing, colorful, vibrant like color clothing, which pays homage to different traditions and different cultures. Yeah, and it was just really important to me too, like to make it look great, you know what I'm saying, in that respect.
It does. It looks amazing, and honestly, like it still looks feminine. Do you know what I mean? Like she's still like, even she's not showing a lot, but she still looks very feminine and beautiful, and I just love what you did with it. I'm gonna like throw up the fact that you threw in purple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
anyways,
you know what's funny? So here's how I settle on purple. Okay, here's how I settle on purple, and maybe you'll think less of me by this, but it's okay. I wanted to make a Mega Man X fan game. Okay.
Yes.
And I wanted her to have the abilities of both X and Zero. X is blue. Red is zero. Blue plus red makes purple. So she's got
color theory. No.
She's got a.
That's fine.
That's
fine. I'm all about color theory.
Yes.
After X, and she's got a blade after Zero, so she embodies both of their abilities, and so that's why she's that's why she is the way she is. She's purple.
I can't believe you thought I would think
really
less
well
of you.
like everything else.
Purple works really.
That's an incredible reason. That's what's up. But all right, Derek, I'm gonna throw it to you. I'm sure you have some questions.
You know, I'm in here in the game. I'm like experiencing the gameplay firsthand, and so yeah, the first thing is I have to ask is the gameplay. You know, what sort of we've talked about Mega Man, we've talked about you know, all these other aesthetics that brought into building the project. What other parts? You know, what else is that influence here that we might not know about?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like when I launched the Kickstarter, people ask about it. Literally, the game is just Mega Man X in 3D. Like that is the DNA. Like I love that 2D side-scrolling, how fast and how smooth the gameplay was, and how like the gameplay is so focused, right? It's so simple. It's like you just like, I think Sequelitis did a really funny video. It's like, they should call Mega Man just jump and shoot, man. That's all you do. You jump and you shoot. You jump and shoot.
You do.
So, that's all you do. And so like, that was one of the primary challenges. Is like, how do you take something in 2D space, which is very easy, jump and shoot, because you only move in two directions. But how do you do that in 3D, where you don't turn the game into like Fortnite or into like a third-person shooter, where now the core mechanic and the game for the player is expected to make is manipulating, like how well can you aim on top of movement? And that immediately becomes way less accessible. Like I know me personally, I'm not a first-person shooter player because like I suck with the right stick. I didn't grow up playing with it, and so manipulating the right stick, I've never quite gotten the touch right. So I wanted to design. I was like, that was the main design challenge for the game. It's like, how do I make it that even in 3D, all you have to worry about is jumping and shooting. And that's where like the lock-on mechanic that you see is presenting itself comes into play. Yeah. Where it's like she will automatically lock on and orient herself and fire at the target that so that all you have to worry about is jumping and shooting. And that's been like a really important thing to like towards translating the 3D Mega Man, like Mega Man X in 2D to 3D. So that on top of like responsive, like fluid movement, you know what I'm saying? If you notice when she jumps and stuff, she doesn't carry like momentum with her, like in a Mario game where it's hard to stop. If you jump and then let go of like the direction input, she'll just fall straight down. Because that was always really important with Mega Man, is that like it's one-to-one movement. It's like you go where you want to go. And when you do that, gameplay can become a lot more deliberate, a lot more, it feels more like rewarding, because it's like she's doing exactly what I want to do. And if I messed up, that's because it wasn't because I was fighting physics, it's because I just didn't plan my approach correctly, right? And so like taking from inspiration from games like Hollow Knight, Mega Man X, that really nailed that awesome feeling. That's kind of what's going on under the hood and what's really important for the game.
I can't champion that enough. When you said that awesome feeling, the game feels excellent when you pick up the controller and you you have to. You saw me falling, and that was of my own fault. You know, nobody else. I can't blame the game for those mistakes. But the environments are challenging, the opponents are challenging, and the gameplay is super fun. What you have going on here is already incredible.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, a little tip: if you can make it just past this next section of like platforming challenges, good shot. So if you can make it just past it, there's a checkpoint, so you won't get reset to the beginning. So there's an enemy here. There's going to be a turret who's going to fire at you from long range, and it's shielded, so watch out for that. And then you have like a little look at him. I know, because I want you to get this checkpoint. I don't want you to have to reset.
He wants you to succeed.
I'm going to start that.
I want success for you.
Ready?
Ooh. Remember, he shoots 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then you can...
Oh, you got this.
Oh, here we go.
I love that. I love the variety of the enemies too. Like you get adapted to you adapt to the play of say one enemy, and then another one shows up. We got this.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice. So now you can die whenever, whatever. You'll at least get a little checkpoint. And so that was the thing I really loved about Mega Man games, is that like the enemy design is not that complex. Like the enemies do like one or two things. It's very different from like modern shooter games where it's like you got enemies who like take cover and move left to right, and they have all this like advanced AI. I found that like if you just combine simple elements with each other, it can make for a very complex situation. So like here, it's just a moving platform that also happens to have some obstructions in the way, but also happens to have an enemy floating above you, which is going to cause problems, right? Or like here, it's just 2 enemies, but them being off stage a little bit and like opposite each other presents another type of challenge. And so it's really cool being able to like layer on complexity, but just like literally adding these very simple elements and combining them. That's one of like the main differentiators from Protodroid DeLTA. From like the nearest analogy people have noticed is like, it looks like kind of like Ratchet and Clank. But the difference there is that like with Ratchet and Clank games, typically you're expected to do combat in like combat arenas and platforming sections. They're like divorced from each other. And that's not Mega Man, right? Mega Man is always like, you gotta jump and shoot at the same time. You gotta deal with like platforms coming at you and enemies coming at you simultaneously. And so that's been a really important design aspect for the game. It's been like to be able to, whenever you see some platforming, add an enemy in there. You know what I'm saying? So that like the player is like doing both simultaneously, and that gives the game its unique DNA.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I can't wait to see an enemy in this space. I'm already stressed.
Yeah, he's a chaser, that little one.
Yeah, those little guys, man, they come for you like, no patience as soon as
they're kind of relentless. Oh, there he is. And if you're
doing such a good job, though.
You're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah.
This is my first time playing.
Oh, sweet.
My health bar, I'm like, come on.
You got this.
So that's the thing too, is that like I also have to kind of like toe the line between like traditional Mega Man difficulty and like modern game design sensibilities, because I felt like that's one of the reasons why Mega Man has not been as like, it's like an icon, it's like a household name, but like I think the fact that the games have been so difficult that like not many people have beaten a Mega Man game kind of detracts from its overall appeal. And so I'm trying to find, how do I kind of like bridge these two things, where it's like you have just enough difficulty where it feels like it honors that sort of like appeal of it, like, oh, these games are tough, but it's not so hard that like no one can beat it. Only a handful of people are very experienced like winning. Because I feel like games like Pokemon, that's part of the appeal, I think, universally, is that like everybody beats Pokemon. Like no one doesn't beat Pokemon. And so since everyone has such fond memories of like, I succeeded in that. It had some difficulty to it, but like I figured out the type matchups and built my lineup. It creates like fond memories, and that contributes to its overall like appeal, I think. So I wanted to do that with Protodroid DeLTA. That like it can be tough at times, but there are sensible game design decisions that allow for it to be a little bit easier, so that like so more people can enjoy what Mega Man truly is, but in a 3D space. So like so the checkpoints are in there. There's gonna be like an item shop where you can purchase like little health health refills, to help you out if you're low on health, and a little item which will nullify damage when you fall into a pit, so that like maybe if you're finding that too difficult, you can like nullify that and then just keep trying over and over again. Similar to like in Celeste, it's like there's like no penalty to dying. You just start over and you can keep trying until you get it. So like just a lot in terms of like making the games accessible and modernizing, like and not repeating some of the same kind of like things that kind of held back previous like similar titles.
Excellent. Yeah.
I'm all into this gameplay.
I can't say that enough. I love this little touch here. So earlier in the game, I spent this time navigating these rotating objects, and this last one here rotates faster than the others, which proved itself to be an unexpected surprise. So it's those little nuanced adjustments that I think are really cool.
So turn around. So
I feel like you have to you have to go through there again. Yes.
Yeah, so you have to dash jump to clear it.
Yep. All right.
But it's only there for a little bit, right?
So you gotta do the dash.
Oh!
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. Yo, this makes me. Good job, Derek. I probably wouldn't have made it that far. Mad proud of you. I can't wait to play this game. I'm serious. I cannot wait to play it. It definitely brings back like nostalgic feelings of when I used to play video games with my brother and stuff.
Yes. That's the goal right there. The target release date is Q1 2023. And with the Humble Publishing deal, like it's been such a huge boom, because now I haven't mentioned this before, but like I don't work full time in games. Like I work full time as like a engineer, like for like mechanical engineer for a company. And this is all like a side project, sort of like just a hobby, like a creative passion of mine. But with the Humble support, I'm now able to like hire teams like level designers and environment artists and programmers to sort of round this game out. So it's like everything you see here, I designed and programmed like myself, and built. The art, I was able to, with the BGDF funds, hire artists to install like this art and put together this level. And my friend Armando Navarrete, who did the initial like level design for these couple stages. But now with this like publishing support, like we can now finish the game out and add like all the rest of the levels, finish up with the bosses and sub bosses. The game's in a pretty good state though. Right now it is playable start to finish, including the bosses. What's missing is like animations and some tweaks to the AI the behavior of the AI. This is a crazy section, by the way. Like
it's wild. When the lasers started intersecting, I was like, here we go.
You got a dash jump.
Yeah, I forgot about the dash.
I'm really Q1 2023. Now I've got the support that I need to sort of round this project out. I just couldn't be more thrilled. It's like been a tough road, but seeing the positive reaction from folks like yourself, Destiny and Derek, and just like the community in general has been like really like motivating. People like what they see. They like what they see, and I like what they like that.
I mean, like for this to be like a side project and a hobby, like it's very well polished.
Thank you.
So. When you were like, yeah, I don't do this full time. I just, I just do this when I have some free time. I'm like, it looks incredible. Okay.
Thank you so much. So here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff in the game that I don't know if Derek will be able to showcase. Because I want you to get to the end of this level, because there's a cool cutscene where you meet like another character, I'll say. But I'm not sure how much longer we have on the stream, because it'd be cool to kind of see that, but if we can't, it'd be nice to kind of showcase some of like what else is in the game. But you guys let me know if you think we've got the wherewithal. Oh, you're gonna have to like those guys. You gotta stun them and then get around them. So like the trick is
the way I knew that, and I said to myself, we're gonna hit him, we're gonna, and then we're gonna move on, and still bumped into him.
So you got to shoot him when he's low, and then you can dash jump over him. Bam! There we go.
Oh,
now,
there you go.
I add the complexity. Now you got to deal with 2 of these bad boys. There's one going horizontal while you're on a jump pad. So you gotta time when you shoot him, so you can make sure he's paused away from your primary path.
Yep.
And then you sort of sneak right by. It's a wild, like simple elements. You just add them together to each other, and all of a sudden you got a spicy pepperoni. They say, but a spicy meatball. There we go. I think guys up there. He's got a lot of health too, so you're gonna want to make sure the camera is focused on that guy. There we go. Oh, gotcha.
The power.
I don't know if anyone's on a keyboard by you, but like a little pro tip: if you hit, oh man, what's the button? I don't want you to die. There's a button to regain your health, and I want to help you.
What,
but there's also a button to self. Yeah, there's cheat codes, man. There's also a button to like self-destruct, and I keep forgetting which is which.
He said, I installed the GameShark, but I don't know what it's going to do.
You have to hold the left Alt button on the keyboard for 1 second, and your health will magically regenerate.
It's okay. I'm gonna press on with the challenge.
He's gonna press on the challenge.
He's gonna press on. Okay.
If I die, I die.
See, there we go. That's the way. Yeah, that's the way you gotta be, man. If I die, I die.
See, he's good. I would have been like, ooh, I can regen my health. All.
We'll do some dash on that.
A little tip with this one is if you dash jump onto the trampoline, you'll keep the momentum from it, so you'll continue to like move faster in the air.
Wow, that's cool.
So to make that second jump a little more easy. There's like little nods here or there about like for players who do become comfortable and gain mastery with some of the movement that like technically this whole section you can almost dash jump totally through if you.
All right, guys. Oh. I'm so sorry. We just got told we're over time. But thank you so much for showing us the game. It's incredible. I can't wait to play it. And I think we're going to throw up a trailer for the new game. Adam, it was great talking to you.
It was really nice meeting you both, Destiny and Derek. And I'm glad that you like my game. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Love it.
Thanks for having me, folks. Take care.
See you around.